I just love how I just finished this. It's all made of like pearl and wool and all that stuff. So, anyway, I have been working a lot with, my job and things. So, I didn't have like a lot of time to do the full moon reading. I did this when I was on my break from YouTube. And, it just helped with focusing. You need that all the time. You need something that focuses your attention. If you don't have your heart in it, why focus on it? But yeah, with the full moon reading, I really didn't have 100% focus on it, and I'm not sure why. June 14th, like, I kept channeling, like, really weird things. I haven't channeled surreal things for a while now, and the last time I channeled something that was surreal was when I did that Martin Luther King Jr. reading, and that was like very strange. Like, I felt like I was there. I felt like I was Mr. King, and it was very strange. Like, just the sense of dread and the sense of like being hunted like a dog, like, that's, like, really scary for anybody to deal with. But, like, with June 14th, I kept channeling, like, walls, boxes, keys. All of them together aren't bad things, but them found in different scenarios or in different instances where something else would have been found is kind of scary. Now, if you channel stuff like that, is something that kind of gives a difference to your lifestyle. Now, I used to be a surreal artist. I used to draw a lot of surreal things. Now, there's meaning to dream sequences and there's a meaning to meditative sequences. With mine, it went through the adjustment of the universe with the planets the way that they are now, and they're aligning. You have, I think, Saturn, Venus, Jupiter, and another planet which I can't think of now. Probably Mars. But yeah, that alliance isn't really too good either. But finding normal tools or normal everyday things that you use every day found in different scenarios and different situations is actually to be a source of a threat. Okay, so if it's found in different scenarios, situations, and things, why would that be considered a threat? Well, you think about keys being in a lock. If they're not in a lock, they're probably in a door, some type of scenario where it would be instantly acceptable to your mind and how you use keys. But if they're found under any other circumstance or have a difference of shape, size, or some type of use, it kind of raises more questions than it answers. With the walls that were in my vision were kind of a very weird build up to something else. It was kind of like looking at the Berlin Wall, but it was being built into a pyramid or a building or something else. It was very strange events, currents, or channeling. I'm still trying to figure that one out. And then there was some other thing with rainbows. Like, the rainbows were weird. Like, it seemed like there was some guy that was kind of like had like a smoothie machine and would put the rainbow inside jars and kind of throw them over the bridge. It was so weird channeling that it was almost like a dream sequence of just bad things happening. But I was just like, why am I channeling this? And then I was like, considering everything that's happened in the past 2 years, it would make sense, you know. But like, it's so like surreal. It's more of like if you see like an art piece called the Piss Christ, and you're not really sure what that yellow substance is, and somebody tells you, yeah, that's the artist's urine, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, it's that type of shock factor to the visions I was seeing, you know. And I've seen the riots, I've seen buildings burn down and stuff like that, so like I'm not a fool to the game, but it's like you see some abstract thing in your mind and you're just like, what the hell? And it's like that with things because your mind wants to be calmed. It doesn't want to be upset when you're channeling anything. So I believe that there's a lot of events and stuff around that want to cause harm to other people. And that's what I think. I don't think that we know who these people are. I don't think that they're going to show their face anytime soon. But I think that it's like a threat. I do. I think that a lot of people are going to be upset. A lot of people are going to lose things. And a lot of people are just going to be, you know, not even know, you know, what's going to happen to them. And I feel like if your government has that much power, it's a bad idea, you know. And I've always thought that way. It doesn't matter if you're like Republican, Democrat, Independent, or unaffiliated. It depends of how you see your morals and you see human value and nature value and all this stuff. That's why I became like really into natural remedies. Like, I would rather go out and forage for the medicines that I need in order to survive instead of always like going to like the pharmacy and stuff because I don't know how things are regulated. Okay, so and I've worked for Walmart, I've worked for a lot of different things, and to be honest with you, seeing that a lot of people could die from taking a Tylenol is pretty scary, you know. But I don't know how the government regulates things, and I don't know like what's happening with certain medications. Um, and the environment, I feel like it's a hoax. Like a lot of it's a hoax. Because if the Earth was in danger, I don't think Mars would be the solution. Because we already came from Mars. We have iron in our system. I don't think if you were born on Earth originally, you would have iron cells in you. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Blood cells have iron in it. So, yeah, I think about a lot of things. So, you know, never a dull moment. But, yeah, what I'm saying is, like, you really have to think about things. You have to be like, well, if iron's found on Mars and it's found in my body, we're probably Martians. Because I believe if we were born on Earth, we would probably have like carbon cells, wouldn't we? We would have those weird like diamond cells in us. But yeah, like we wouldn't have iron in our cells, would we? But it would be an amalgamation of carbon, you know, or like nitrogen cells or something. But it wouldn't be iron. Um, but yeah, I always think about deeper meanings to things, and I'll reread something if I didn't understand it the first time. I might be dyslexic, but I kind of like oh, that didn't sound right to me. I'm gonna like pinpoint that and kind of look it up until I've like knocked out a dead horse. But I look at the world very like a, I guess like a panner looking for gold. Like I'm really sleuthing for things, and I'm not trying to be like pessimistic or anything, but I'm more optimistic at the fact of I could probably solve this. But it's every day is like, kind of a CSI kind of look at the world, but you know, people need to understand that I don't think everything should be mandated by the government because I feel like that's doing more harm than good. And I also think that having a bigger government is probably not good either because it kind of allows the government to do whatever the hell they want and to influence your children however they want, to say things and do things and influence things that shouldn't really be like that big a deal, but it becomes a bigger deal, and it's like a waste of energy once you like fix one leak, another leak happens, or another thing happens that's not very good. I wouldn't worry about what people say. I would be worried about the actions that they're doing behind the scenes where nobody can see because that's where it counts and that's where it could do the most harm. Okay. So anyway, what I'm saying is that when I had my visions, when I had kind of like a warning, I was kind of like really worried. I was worried about other people, and that's how I usually am. I'm never worried about myself because I don't have an eighth house. And with an eighth house, usually you fear death. You fear worst case scenarios. You fear like your own mortality. I've never feared my own mortality. I fear other things that are probably none of my business, but I want to make sure people have knowledge of what kind of course they're on, you know. I myself can be on no course at all and I would be totally fine with that. But like telling other people like, hey, you need to stop or you need to like do stuff. It's not like I'm trying to be a Karen about it, even though my name is Karen. I just want people to be more knowledgeable because people just want to follow a crowd and being a sheep is nowhere to be. Like, my family has been here for a while. Like, I'm not even joking. We're Native American, and kind of Hispanic in some traces. But you have to know where you come from and like what you're about. It's very important. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long day. Everybody was worried about their checking cards for some reason. Everybody's checking card wasn't working at Wells Fargo today. Oh, that's always fun. Also, there was like this weird stock market like rebound thing. It was really weird. But it went from like a high to a low within like an hour, and everybody was freaking out. But that's how the stock market goes. Like, if the higher ups aren't investing in it, you shouldn't invest in it. I usually watch, like, what other people are investing in, and what I do is, like, I get it on, like, the down. Like, if it's way, way down, I'll probably be, like, one of the first people to try to buy some. And then just try to like invest in something else that's more substantial like food or something. But yeah, I don't like the hikes in food or gas or anything because I think about other people. Like I said, like if I think it's too much, there's a problem. If I believe that some people are being cheated, that's a problem. Because you have to understand that it's not the people at the top of the food chain that's important, it's the people at the bottom of the food chain that's important. Because if people at the bottom of the food chain get pissed off, there's more of them than there is people at the top. You know, it's a bad idea. But anyway, there was like I've never been one for history, but since I gotten older, I've been like, oh, I love history. But in Marie Antoinette's story, there was the French Revolution, and that happened around the time that America was becoming its own like country or vicinity away from Britain. So the French came in and tried to help them out, and they were financing like the first colonists and things. So the French people hated that shit. They're like, no, we're not financing other countries and stuff. And that's how I feel about America. Why are we financing other countries when they're kind of not really giving us like a choice in the matter? It's kind of like you had to do this. But yeah, like they don't want us policing the world. They want our money. And it's like if we give you our money, we should be policing you. And that's kind of like, you know what I mean? You don't want people like using your money for the wrong things. But it's a lot to being an American. It's weird. But yeah, like I said about the American and French, relationship type thing in the Marie Antoinette kind of French Revolution thing. There was a point where there was an uprising of people that were impoverished by what the higher ups wanted, and literally overpowered the people at the top, because the people at the top didn't know how to handle an uprising of peasants. They thought, oh, the peasants will do whatever we want and it won't be a problem. But at the time, there was problems in France anyway by the time Marie Antoinette became queen or whatever. So she really had to do something to help the people of France, which she didn't do. She became like, spending. She became like gambling debts and all this. And it was just like a really like outlandish time. And under President Biden, it's kind of looking that way again in American history. So it's time to do something. Like I get it. He's for the 1%, but like he said that he would be for the 99%. And yeah, I don't like the way that that's kind of two-timed, it's not good. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. You can think about what I said about certain things, maybe, say your own thing or look some of the stuff up. But you kind of had to see what happened way back in history to find out what's going to happen in your own history. Even the Bible says it. Like, the Bible goes through, like, events in history. But the Bible's off by 40 years. So, 40-year gap between history events. So, if it doesn't resonate for you in the Bible, there's other sources and other references you can use. Okay, so anyway, I'll see you in the next one. This was a great Friday chat, and hopefully we can do this again. Alright? Anyway, later.